On a stormy night in the Mediterranean Sea, an Italian fisherman sees something floating adrift. He tells his fellow fishermen and the men are shocked to discover a man. They bring him overboard where a doctor tends to the man's wounds. The doctor, Giancarlo, finds 2 bullets lodged in the man's back and a chip on his hip. He removes the chip, which glows red and shows an account number for a bank in Zurich when projected on a wall. Giancarlo returns to the makeshift operating table only to find the man missing. The man suddenly attacks Giancarlo, suspecting that something is amiss. However, Giancarlo explains the situation. The man realizes that he cannot remember anything, including his name or identity. Over the following 2 weeks, the man stays with the fishermen, helping them and recuperating. He's frustrated when he can't remember anything from his prior life. Giancarlo asks him to take it easy and rest, as his memories will surely return. When they get back on land, Giancarlo gives the man some money to get him to Switzerland so he can investigate what the account number is for. The man takes a train and gets to Switzerland. That night, he sleeps on a bench in the park. 2 police officers approach him and one tries to shove him with a baton. Surprisingly, the man holds the baton and beats up the 2 police officers in seconds. The following morning, he goes to the bank and is directed to a safety deposit box. Inside, he finds an American identification card and realizes that his name is Jason Bourne. Further investigation reveals a hidden compartment where Bourne finds several passports with different names, a lot of money in foreign currencies, and a gun. He takes the money and passports but leaves the gun and exits the bank. While leaving the bank, he suspects that some police officers are following him, so he enters the American consulate by showing them his American passport. Inside, he overhears a German woman, Mary Kreutz, arguing with an official regarding her documentation. Concurrently, an employee of the Bank of Zurich contacts a man called Conklin, saying he has spotted Bourne. Conklin alerts the police to arrest Bourne, who had been MIA for 2 weeks and presumed dead. The United States Defense Minister calls upon all his intelligence officers and shows them a video from ex-dictator Nkwana Wombosi. Wombosi claims that someone had attempted to eliminate him and he has evidence that the US was behind the attack. He wants the US to help him regain control in his country or he will give the evidence to the media. CIA Deputy Director Abbott seeks out Conklin and learns that he had dispatched Bourne to do the assassination but had lost contact. Abbott doesn't want this to get back to him, so he asks Conklin to handle it immediately. Back in Zurich, Bourne is cornered by police officers. However, he manages to beat up a few, grab a gun and escape the room, prompting the embassy to dispatch a few soldiers. Bourne throws out the gun and takes a copy of the building plan to get an escape route. He intends to escape through the roof but aborts the plan when his bag falls down. Bourne evades the soldiers and retrieves his bag. He meets Marie and offers her $10,000 to take him to Paris. Seeing her reluctance, he offers her another $10,000 when they get there. Marie is desperate for money, so she agrees to drive him in her small red car. Conklin and his agents wonder what Bourne is doing and conclude that he must be on his way to Paris. He activates all the sleeper agents and gives them a new task. He also prints out warrants for Bourne and Marie, believing that they are accomplices. On the drive to Paris, Marie learns of Bourne's amnesia. He reveals that he can fight and is always on alert mode but doesn't understand why or who he is. He has found out that he has an apartment in Paris and hopes to find the answers he seeks there. The couple soon reaches Paris. Bourne gives Marie her money but she decides to stay and freshen up. Bourne calls the last number on his phone and it directs him to Hotel Regina. He asks to speak to Jason Bourne but learns that no one with that name is at the hotel. Thinking fast, he asks about Michael Caine, a name on one of the passports, and is devastated to learn that Caine had died 2 weeks ago in a fatal car accident. The hotel's manager explains that Caine's brother had picked up his stuff, making Bourne suspect that he was involved in more sinister business than he thought. Bourne suspects that someone is in the apartment and starts investigating, only for a man to jump in through the window. Jason and the man fight for a while, but Jason gets the upper hand. He pins the man to the ground and asks Marie to look through the man's bag. Marie is horrified to see Bourne's and her pictures listed as armed and dangerous. She yells at the man, and when Bourne calms her down, the man throws himself out of the window to avoid being interrogated. Bourne drags a catatonic Marie out of the apartment into the car. He finds a place to deposit the money and asks Marie to go to the police and explain everything to clear her name. After an argument, Marie decides to help Bourne find out his identity. The police locate the car and a chase ensues. Bourne showcases his skills when he creates a car pileup, losing the tail of the police following him. The two drive to an underground parking lot and ditch the car. Meanwhile, Wombosi visits the morgue after he learns that the man who was sent to assassinate him is dead. He sees the body but confirms that the deceased isn't his assassinator. Bourne and Marie stay in a hotel room. Bourne cuts Marie's hair and the two get intimate. The following morning, Bourne informs Marie that he wants to visit Hotel Regina and get the bill charged to Kane's room. Marie offers to help and the two devise a plan. Bourne is waiting to complete his plan when Marie approaches him against the said directives. Marie explains that she has the bill as she had posed as Kane's secretary. Desperate to clear this mess, Conklin dispatches another agent to eliminate Wombosi and go after Bourne. The assassin kills Wombosi and starts following Bourne's trail now that the red car has been found. Cross-referencing the bill leads Bourne to a company where he learns that Kane had been interested in buying a yacht. Bourne and Marie continue reviewing the documents they dig up and learn of Kane's body at the morgue. The doctor kicks them out, but not before Bourne tears off a page in the sign-in register. He learns that Wombosi was also at the morgue. Bourne wants to get the answers from Wombosi but soon learns of the assassination. He joins the dots and figures out that he is an assassin. He had attempted to assassinate Wombosi on his yacht, but the dictator shot him twice in his back and threw him into the ocean. This realization scares Marie, so Bourne calms her down and promises to take her wherever she wants since staying in the city is not safe anymore. Marie remembers her half-brother's home and the two drive there. Marie is startled when Eamon and his kids show up. Eamon agrees to let them spend the night. The following morning, Eamon's dog goes missing, causing Bourne to ask the family to get into the basement while he seeks out the assassin. He finds him in the woods surrounding the home and manages to shoot him fatally. Before passing away, the man explains that the two are connected to Treadstone. Unfortunately, this leaves Bourne with more questions than answers. He gives some money to Marie, advising her to stay low with Eamon while he finishes the business. While going through the assassin's belongings, Bourne finds a burner phone. He dials the last number and gets connected to Conklin. Conklin immediately realizes that Bourne is on the line. Before he can ask him questions, Bourne arranges to meet alone in Paris. Conklin gets to the meetup point, but Bourne has already spotted agents dotted all over. He calls off the meeting and leaves after planting a tracking device on one of Conklin's vehicles. Later, Bourne sneaks into the hotel room where Conklin and another agent are getting rid of evidence. He holds Conklin at gunpoint, wanting an explanation for what's happening. Conklin explains that Treadstone is a CIA Black Ops program and Bourne is the best agent. He had been tasked with eliminating Wombosi and making it appear as an inside job. However, Bourne had failed his mission and created a whole mess. Bourne starts to remember what had happened at the yacht. He had successfully located and infiltrated the ship and got into Wombosi. Holding a gun to his head, Bourne realized that Wombosi was surrounded by his children and he couldn't go through with it. He turned to leave, but Wombosi shot him twice and the fisherman later found him. Bourne tells Conklin that he wants out and demands that he puts a report that he had died in the ocean. However, Conklin explains that it doesn't work that way. Bourne realizes that Conklin's agents are slowly approaching the house. He ambushes them and a gunfight ensues. Luckily, Bourne kills most of the agents and flees. Conklin leaves the hotel room and encounters another agent sent by Director Abbott. The agent shoots Conklin dead. Abbott then shuts down Treadstone. He reports to an oversight committee that Treadstone was too expensive to maintain. The committee moves on to discuss a new project called Blackbriar. A while later, Marie has a store renting out scooters to tourists in Mykonos. Bourne approaches her asking to rent one and the two happily reunite. Do leave a comment telling us your favorite part of the movie. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time folks, take care and goodbye.